But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life for Chelsea for the Bold and Beautiful September 11th, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts down below. What did y'all think of the episode? Did y'all like it? How do y'all feel about Ridge and Brooke getting married? Let me know down below. And also, how do y'all think everyone is going to react once they find out? Now, I was waiting. At first, I was like, okay, because I thought they said you need at least one witness. I guess it depends on where you go and what state you in. Cause I was like, who gonna be the witness? I said, they gonna go across the halls, waiting on them to go tell somebody or text Eric or what's her name, Donna or Katie or somebody to come in there and be a witness or something like that. But no, and I gotta say, even though I don't support them being together, cause look, all this back and forth they keep on doing don't make no doggone sense. They'll be over by March. They'll be over by March, January possibly. I do like how they did this. I like how they knew, both of them knew that they wanted to get married. They didn't go try to consult nobody. They told Carter because he could marry them and stuff like that, and they just got married. They just did it. I like that right there. I like that right there. Now I think it's a train wreck waiting to happen, but I still like that. But okay, so I didn't even get much notes because nothing really happened. Nothing really happened. We're gonna start with Will and Luna. So basically, Will was in disbelief. He just sit on the bed and stuff. He was like, "It was you or whatever." And I said, "This, I told y'all he went to right." Then I waiting on him to leave with some note, and she finna get it. He sat there long enough and threatened her to somebody going to the cops and stuff like that. She finna get ready to say she pregnant. She finna get ready to say she pregnant. But yeah, Will was in disbelief or whatever. Will was in disbelief. This fool gonna say some doggone Luna gonna say, let's do it again. And she's convinced that Will actually does remember what happened. Now I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. People been saying that they're gonna do the storyline where he starts to remember that you know what happened or whatever. And I said, I don't know about that. I said, he told her on today's episode that she took advantage of him. And she did. She definitely did. She just stood up there proud of herself. Talking about what they shared. You know you switched the drinks, right? You had to switch the drinks just to get this man in the bed. I mean, you didn't have to because before you went around trying to shoot people, he was acting like he wanted you. He was acting like he wanted you. But yeah, we was in disbelief. Luna wanted seconds. He ends up telling her how she's going back to jail, and I said she finna get ready to say she's pregnant. Electra ends up hitching the idea to Katie. I think she said it was something that Will and her was working on or something like that. But yeah, she pitched the idea. Katie liked it. So then Electra ended up telling Katie how much she loves her son, how much she loves Will. And Katie was just talking about their happiness, and she's standing up there looking all suspicious and stuff. And I was like, look, because Electra kept talking about being happy. Electra kept talking about how happy she was and stuff like that. And Katie just standing up there looking all guilty and suspicious and stuff. Like she knows something that Electra don't, but nobody paying attention to that though. They definitely wasn't. What else? Let's see. Deacon, Donna, Eric. First they was talking about Brooke and the fact that she almost died and how, despite how Deacon feels about Rich, he's glad that, he was there to save Brooke. And I said, shut up, another one of her mans. Another one of her men. I said, look, y'all, but look, two of her mans in the same, I'm about to say in the same room, but they outside. Two of them. Two of her backup plans. Look, she be having them, she be pulling them, I told y'all. So then they start talking about how they think that Brooke and Rich belong together and stuff like that, and talking about how regardless Taylor's gonna end up hurt and everything. They were just talking about how they belong together. That's all they was talking about. Nothing there. They was talking about whether or not Ridge and Brooke was gonna get together. And I was waiting on them to text a picture of her hand with the ring or something. Something. Nothing so far, y'all. Maybe on tomorrow's episode. But the last thing is about Carter, Ridge, and Brooke. So Brooke agreed to marry Ridge right then and there. So Carter ends up marrying them. They recited their vows and everything. And now they married. Now they're married. Now they're husband and wife or whatever. And I was like, look. And they had to do the flashback. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. We don't see her fall in that doggone water how many times? We don't see her fall into the water way too many freaking times. But yeah, Carter did marry them, y'all. But I said despite all that, hold on. I said despite all of that, even though I don't agree with them getting back together because what the world, I said they'll be broken up by March, by next year, early next year. Early next year, unless they actually do a storyline where they last longer this time or whatever. I was like, yeah, early next year, I give them that. Because they saying that Taylor's supposed to get a new man and he going to be jealous or whatever, and then y'all know how they go. But yeah, I said despite all that, I do like how they decided right there in that moment, both of them, because it's just gonna be, despite what everybody say, it's just gonna be their marriage. So I like that they took it upon themselves to decide in that moment, okay, we want to do this, and they didn't text nobody. They didn't, even though I wanted them to text somebody because I thought they needed a witness or something like that. Look, we be reading too much into these storylines, y'all. But I was like, look, I was waiting on Katie or somebody to get a text message. But then I was like, I like that. I like that they decided and they got married. They did what they wanted to do without people interfering. Because at the end of the day, regardless, it's just going to be those two people in the marriage, or it should be anyways. So I was like, yeah, I liked that. I liked that they went on, did it. I said, look, Taylor going to feel some type of way. I feel like she is, but I could be wrong. Because look, first of all, she had to propose to you. Then she started trying to get you to set a wedding date. You don't want to. So you not only proposed to Brooke after you don't ended the engagement with Taylor, but you'd have got married right then and there, and she's still making excuses for him. Still making excuses for him. Man can't do no wrong in her eyes. I said he done left you 50,000 times, and you still over here like, oh, don't blame him. Oh, don't blame Brooke. Don't this and that. Girl, please. But yeah, that's it. That's all that happened. Nothing too much, y'all. Nothing too much. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.